All right, so just a quick follow-up handheld to this last video that, I kind of documented. This is a pyramid at this pink line here is basically following that same pattern of, I'll just show you the measurements. It's, bring it over here. It is the 3965, right? So I could have gone up to here, but this distance here, I was just like, well, let's just drop it here. And coincidentally, there's a pyramid there. Now, it could be whatever. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something. I'm not going to read into it. What I do know is all of those other lines, when we map pretty much everything with that same dimension all around from the Machu Picchu site in all of those directions with the basically starting from one side coming around, and we get the difference is this amount here. And then we do the same from Meadowhouse site, go all the way around from our same point linking us to Machu Picchu. So we take the same number, 3965, 3965. I've done the video that takes us through a bunch of places where it pinpoints, it ends, intersects through all of that. And though the purple are less than certain destination points, they need work. The point is the blue ones are in fact that same measurement. So coming along, I was going this distance trying to figure out, well, where would this 3965 point land? And that's where, I kind of have this double set up here. So there's one point here, and there's a 3965 point there. And that is our variance. So when we do the Meadowhouse to Machu Picchu, that gives us our inside point. And that gives us a measurement. So think about this just from your basic early advanced calculus. If you really want to understand how does the one measure the Earth's wobble, first you got to cartographic all around, you got to understand things, you got to set up points of observation. All of that has to happen at a very megalithic scale. But when you do it, and when you have that, you get triangulations and distances, and you can measure these things out. And in doing that, I'm not suggesting this is a perfect 5-degree wobble. I don't know exactly what it is, but that measurement basically from all of those sites gives you the ellipse of Earth, as opposed to being a perfectly circular orb. But what I like about it is, it's just in this really interesting layout where, it comes off of the western part of Africa, and it's just so, I've taken some deep dive pictures in there, and just, it's such a beautiful area. And, the more I look at how we're all so interconnected, the more I start to realize, just how much more I look forward to exploring and learning about cultures all around the world. As much as I want to learn about potentially previous advanced cultures that are our shared ancestors, because that's the likely probability. It wouldn't have been plausible for us to gain the knowledge base that we have today without actually knowing how to do it. And it's one thing to say the Greeks gave us information, and it's another to say the Egyptians gave us information. We could all, to fight over whether it was in cuneiform or in, Bibles or not, but those are irrelevant, and it's not meant to be blasphemous to people that truly have faith. I have faith that what's guiding me is the thing that truly cares about all of us. And these ancients want us to figure this stuff out because they put a lot of work into this, and I'm just grateful to be able to crack the code with all the tools at hand, because I think I'm just in a position that it is, and it's like in my backyard, so it makes it hard to miss. How that happened, I don't know. I truly just feel like there's a backstory that's not really the point of this. I think just understanding, reverse engineer this, and let's just figure this stuff out. When you get there, then we know, okay, we're really looking at something real. And so towards that end, I do look forward to working with everybody. These measurements are pretty much matching, but that's where the difference is telling us what those degrees are, what the different ways of calculating what is Earth as we know it today. and the isostasis of how water displacement from melting glaciers potentially erased a whole continent here, and this other equilateral triangular observatory that could have come from Meadow House could have been linking up to Machu Picchu, to this other continent, and that could have been similarly radiating out from some central point on the eastern shore of it. And what's left with Hawaii and other locations, that's I just have a lot to understand about how this all connects back. But then it's a world ahead of us. So that was a bad pun, unintentional. And I hope if anybody has questions, they want to contribute to help get this to the next level, either in volunteer time, in contributions, brand advertisement, whatever it takes. We're just really trying to align with great people and do some interesting research to make sure that we can all work together going forward as one species, not always fighting, but trying to actually figure out how to make this world more equitable and just a fun place to live. Right now, it's just like, how often are we finding ourselves in conflict and pretending like some big forces beyond our reasoning can't get us there? But that's because a few people benefit from that. And we come together, we figure this stuff out, we let the truth play out as far as history, and start to understand ancient history in a better, more logical construct. I think it's going to do AI a greater service in helping all of us. But that's not going to make certain people wealthier or preserve certain people's wealth. I can't fight that battle for them. I really can only fight the battle of the truth behind the science that I see in front of me. Or logically, it'll just make me go insane. So everything is just so overwhelmingly, when you get to my backyard, right? This is a place I've lived for 3 decades. To try to understand how it all relates. I can actually ground truth this because I've been this trail adopter in these mountains for 30 years, right? And all of these pieces are sighting stones and tiers of how things would have been used to sight using quartz, clear quartz, polished, double convex magnifying lenses stacked together up along an entire pyramid-like shape space. It really gives you this ability to create a primitive telescope. So towards that end, let me see if I can just get a zoom in, and then I'll just kind of look up. Towards that end, if you think about how one might be able to look up from an observatory location at the stars as they're coming up at night, if you're able to, let me just get in there a little bit closer. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to prove there's like a pyramid back there. There's a lot of things happening, but there's definitely this ridge here, and that allows us to do all kinds of understanding as far as how they would have sighted up into these stars and things like that. So that's kind of like one of those things where this is getting a little distorted. I'm gonna just exit and go to that view. Let's see if I can just kind of do that. Oops. And then, yeah, there we go. So you can kind of see this whole ridge here, and let me try to get in there more. And then we'll just kind of look up. So yeah, that is pretty much, as you see these ridge points up here, this purple line here is, I don't know exactly what that line is, but these orange pinpoints are our various locations marking the axis mundi. So, that's kind of not the best view. We have other modeling software and things that we've done to make it more interesting as far as trying to show the planetary perspective. And I don't think I can do the one-handed thing anymore. But yeah, this is like, you could kind of get just a vibe right off of just Google Earth. It's not like that actually is the night sky, but try to relate to how an observatory would be able to use that whole ridge line, with tiers across all of it and all these rock amphitheaters to like magnify the signals coming down and through. So, I think that was a technology that existed long ago, and yeah, hope people enjoy this and get something out of it. Peace.